Have you ever looked through a roll of film and thought, wow, I am single-handedly keeping the film manufacturing business alive? Good, you're supposed to. Today I want to talk about the kind of photography that humbles you. The kind that is equal parts brilliant idea and utter disaster. By the end, you'll see why the underexposed and unfocused frames are not failures. They're invitations. Let me tell you about some first experiences I had with medium format film. It's romantic until it isn't. I got a Holga 120N, which is a plastic medium format toy camera, and I thought, how hard could this be? Then my first roll came back and literally every frame came back underexposed. Two of them looked like they were taken inside a toaster, and one looked like an almost beautiful shot of my own silhouette. Oh my god, Dallas, I got my scans back and they look like absolute
Bro, what the are these?
Here's where I actually went wrong. I shot a roll of expired film with a best before date of 2001. The seller gave it to me so that I could practice loading film into the camera, and it wasn't intended to use for realsies. But I did anyway. So I kind of knew what I was walking into, and I just walked into it. It's kind of like seeing the red flags and going on the date anyway. But here's the thing. Every wrong exposure is data. Every throwaway frame teaches you how light and film actually behaves. And that feedback, however expensive, is still information. I like to think those early mistakes as the tuition you pay for learning something real. There's no refund, but there's a lesson. What I learned was the basics of the camera and its quirks. I knew that it was not going to be about the output. I learned that it was about building familiarity with the inputs, and that's sometimes worth more than the photos themselves. So obviously next time I'm going to load a roll of unexpired film into it and shoot in the brightest and best conditions possible. I used to think that the only way to grow was to dive straight into the deep end. So my friend lent me his twin lens reflex camera, a Yashica A. He loaded it with one of the least beginner-friendly film stocks for me to try, Lomography Lomo Turquoise. What I got instead was an entire roll of avatar-like selfies. I had an accidental double exposure because I forgot to advance the film, but let's pretend it was on purpose. Because once you fail that badly, the only way is up. You realize you can survive not being good at something, that you're going to be okay. And sometimes the point of going too deep in the wrong direction is simply to know where the shallow end starts.
Nice. You took a photo. I want one.
Maybe next time you shoot in good light. Maybe next time you bring the tripod. Maybe next time you meter twice, or just guess, but guess better. You start from a place that gives you a fighting chance, and that's how real progress feels. Progress is starting over from a more informed position, but you can't get to that more informed position without making a ton of mistakes. Anyway, I was frustrated, but also weirdly awake. Svelja. That's the thing about mistakes. They make you pay attention again. They pull you out of autopilot. And creativity lives right there, right between what you meant to do and what actually happened. It's okay to start over. In fact, it's necessary. Every false start moves you one step closer to the place where your instincts and your skill finally shake hands. You're not wasting film, you're just finding your rhythm.
I'm one of those people that needs to make really simple things really difficult so that it feels like I've accomplished something.
Here's the paradox. The more mistakes I make, the more alive my photography feels. Because in a world obsessed with perfection and automation, imperfection is the only thing that's left that's truly yours. Every underexposed frame, every light leak, every awkward composition is a fingerprint. When you stop chasing flawless, you start noticing beautiful. I read somewhere that you can't accomplish anything without the possibility of failure. If you're deep in the phase of nothing's working, stay there a little longer, because you're actually closer than you think. The act of trying, of testing, failing, adjusting, is the heartbeat of creativity itself. Maybe your next photo will be perfect. Maybe it won't. But either way, you'll be awake to the moment. And that's what we're really trying to capture here. So here's to the worthless frames, the wasted film, the false starts, and the deep ends. They're proof that you're still experimenting, still curious enough to risk being bad at something in the pursuit of something real. And when you finally get that one shot that works, you'll know it wasn't luck. It was built from every imperfect frame that came before it.